mobility, now you're making a lot of engines because you've got lots of units as opposed to steamships or big factories where you're not making as many units. So this was the engine that ended up benefiting from mass production.
Sent me something called a hip-hop Bible, where the 23rd Psalm is rendered as, "The Lord is all that," as opposed to what I knew it as, "The Lord is my shepherd." Then I started to realize the hundreds of little things that go right every day that I didn't even notice, that I took for granted, as opposed to focus. It's about choosing the parts of the Bible about compassion, about tolerance, about loving your neighbor, as opposed to the parts about homosexuality is a sin or
symptoms. We're very reactive as opposed to being proactive about what happened. And so what we did was we made moratoriums on the East and West Coast.
Comfort. And he didn't mean the comfort of a 5-course dinner as opposed to a 1-course meal, but he really meant the comfort of the quality.
The human genome for $40 million by the end of this year. That's as opposed to billions just a few years ago. You know, our ability to it's a deflationary force if not handled right. It is abundance as opposed to scarcity. Free is probably the most interesting thing. And here you...
Normal bias as opposed to defenders. And they showed me a manual, which actually was an excellent manual. I said, I'm going to copy this. It had everything in it. Lawyers.
Schools serve. In fact, this may be what a lot of parents serve, as opposed to this is what we try and serve. We really need to change this whole...
With prescriptions for things they can do to improve environmental health, as opposed to coming to a clinic with medical concerns and walking out with prescriptions for pharmaceuticals. Because it's external, it's shared, we can do something about it, as opposed to internal, genetically predetermined or individualized. People who come to the clinic, that informs much social transformation, as opposed to the top-down control of red light, traffic, intersections.
I'd like to find out how I can distinguish text that was written by a million monkeys as opposed to text that are in our books. And I would like to do it in such a way that I don't actually have to be able to read animals. Anywhere there's life, you're going to have this distribution as opposed to that distribution. And it is detectable not just in the amino acids.
Defining a street with no cars, as opposed to the nearby Mass Ave full of cars. Surprise at finding a street draped by the leaves. And
the likelihood that a man will die at the hands of another man, as opposed to passing away of natural causes, in a variety of...
How does it impact your ability to work, or envision a future, or thrive as opposed to just survive? And what I believe is if we could figure out how to make women safe and honor